Hi everyone, Catherine here from Inky Finger Cat, back with another one of my Use Up My Magazine challenge, and this is one of the Kendra's Card Challenge sketches, but I end up doing something a bit different. So randomly for me, turn it into a bit of a fun fold card, so it becomes quite involved. There you go. So I think this is number 9. 9, yeah, this is sketch number 9. And for those that don't know, go back in the Use Up a Magazine series. You'll see that there is a video that is all about how I organised, cut everything up ready for the Kendra's Card Challenge number 19, and organised all the bits of cardstock, etc. There is a whole video on that. And then there are some videos showing you how I've made up those a few of these cards. I still have a few to go, so you know this will happen again. And today I just fancied something easy and then turned it into something not so easy. So when I say easy, I mean it's just pretty much following the sketch and then deciding how things go together. So the first part comes together really easily. And would I ever choose to do this sort of like pinwheel effect normally? No, that's not something I would ever choose to do. So that's why I love Kendra's Card Challenges, because they just give you something a bit different. So the basic sketch, you can't see because it's off to the right hand side of the screen, and just off screen is this pinwheel, and then it has a stripe of the purple going across the bottom, and a sentiment. That's what the sketch gives us, and that's pretty much what I do, although I do end up turning the sketch. And for the centre of the pinwheel for mine, there isn't anything on the actual sketch, but I decided to use one of these cut apart pieces, which is a circle. And you'll have seen there that because the paper in the pack is paper, not cardstock, I do like to stick it to some cardstock before I then cut elements out where I'm using them as card toppers, for example. So I did that, and then I stuck some adhesive foam, and then I did some glue, which was good because wiggle room meant I had got some time to change my mind and to rotate the sketch. So now, rather than it being a portrait card, it is a landscape card. I went into my tub there of random bits of thread and ribbons that, to be honest, need sorting, but they're things that I've not yet sorted. And I chose some of the pink satin ribbon. This has clearly been taken off some form of packaging. I find a use for all these bits of ribbon eventually, but I have got a lot of ribbon to get through, so I do need to do something about sorting out that little box. That was me doing some tidying up a little while ago, and I put everything into a box rather than it being all loose on the page. And this is where it all went a bit different, and I turned it into a fun fold. Rather than a standard normal opening fold, I decided to turn it into a bit of a gatefold with a difference. So when I say with a difference, it's because it has got a panel on the left hand side that's bigger than the panel on the right hand side. But what I'd totally forgotten about was these random bits of tape on the background that are encapsulating that ribbon to keep it in place. So then I had to then make another panel to go on the inside. So I thought, well, whilst I'm going for it, I might as well use that same embossing folder I used on the front panel, which is an old Stampin' Up one, brocade or lacy brocade or something like that. And on both the front and the back, I have used the deboss side up rather than the emboss side up, just so you're aware. Just gives it a bit of a flatter surface for you to then stick other things to. And then because I've done this panel, I thought, right, well, you know those other circles that were on the cut apart? Why not add those too? So again, I have Pritt sticked them to the cardstock, and then I am just fussy cutting them out. I am not great at fussy cutting circles, so they're not particularly even. But they're good enough. Remember, handmade, not Hallmark, I believe is the phrases that we use to say, well, it's not going to be perfect. And then I thought, right, what am I going to do over on the right hand side? So first of all, I'm zhuzhing it up with just a little panel of the pink, and I could have left it like that. But instead, I decided, right, I'm going to add a panel of white on the inside just so it's clear where to write. And then I thought, right, what other pieces have I got in here? And I thought You're the best goes with the good luck, which is the sentiment on the front. And so I've added that in too. So again, I am gluing it down to some cardstock because on this it's going to overhang slightly. And I am going to make sure that obviously the back of it looks neat. So by putting it onto the cardstock and I'm just gluing it down on the right hand side, that gives it a little bit of an overhang. And I think, okay, I'm happy now. So it's definitely Kendra's card sketch, but I've turned it into something slightly different by doing something very out of my normal comfort zone and doing a fun fold. Because I could. And because it randomly was what happened halfway through making the card. I've added some sequins there from a Hey Little Magpie sequin mix from one of the embellishment packs, and then I call it done. So I hope you enjoyed this card, a bit different, but it's another one of those Kendra's Card Challenge number 19 done and dusted, but a slightly different way of using the sketch by popping it as a card topper onto a different fold card. Please do like and subscribe to see more. There will be future videos coming. I can't remember what next is coming, but there is something coming soon. And obviously I have more of these cards to make from the magazine kit. There is a whole playlist. If you've enjoyed this, please go and watch the rest. But now, thank you for watching, and until next time, bye bye.